The road to Extreme Rules continues on WWE Main Event this week. What's up, everybody? Your boy DJ Cass is, of course, back to bring you my WWE Main Event review for September 1st, 2021. And I have a lot of mixed feelings on this show for a lot of reasons, and I'll get into them in a second. But, of course, before I get into it, people, leave your comments down in the comment section. Give me a like or a dislike on YouTube. Let me know if you like these. Let me know if you don't like them. What can we improve? Really take a good listen and see what you like on this whole thing. But yeah, let's not go ahead and waste time. But yes, this was taped, of course, in Oklahoma City before Raw. Kevin Patrick and Byron Saxton on commentary. The first match of the night was Jeff Hardy versus Cedric Alexander. Jeff Hardy back making another main event appearance this weekend. I wrote down this in my notes. If Jeff Hardy kicked off main event with that normal words music, and the crowd's just gonna make this show feel more important, I would put Jeff Hardy on main event every single week. And trust me, I know you're about to yell at me. What? Put Jeff Hardy on WWE main event? He deserves better. Yes, he does. But the thing is, it's like every time, this is the second week in a row, people, that Jeff Hardy has kicked off the first match on main event and the crowd goes nuts. So it's like anything to breathe life into this show is beyond me. But yes, Cedric is very lost right now. I still don't know what's going on with him. Again, this is a far cry from what he was doing at the Hurt Business almost a year ago. And he's very loud. A lot of "Let's Go Hardy" chants. Again, the crowd was really into Jeff, and rightfully so, which is Jeff Hardy, I mean, he's got age on him, but it's as long as the dude keeps putting face paint on, he could still do somewhat of the stuff he used to do, which would be 10 years ago. I mean, there's still something there. But yeah, this was a decent little match here. Nothing really to write home about. Like I said, "Let's Go Hardy" chants. We had a side headlock from Cedric to Jeff Hardy to get the heat. Jeff Hardy did a spot where, well, actually, he did 4 spots where he rammed Cedric's head into the turnbuckle 4 times. There was a nice missile drop kick on the outside. Cedric gets a close near fall after the old Michinoku driver for a near fall. There was a rough looking Hurricane Rana in this match, where that's the thing. There was a theme through these 2 matches on this show, because there were some rough spots in both these matches. In this match, like I said, you could tell Jeff Hardy was really trying to get ready for the Hurricane Rana. I don't know if they were unbalanced or whatnot, but it almost didn't look good, and Jeff actually lost him. And then as soon as we got back from there, we had a double clothesline for both men, and as the crowd's clapping along, and there was also a nice little near fall for Cedric Alexander from a clothesline to Jeff Hardy, and then after that, after 4 attempts of trying to hit the Twist of Fate, which is a good spot, Jeff Hardy hits the Twist of Fate on Cedric. Jeff hits the Swanton Bomb. 1, 2, 3 for the victory on main event. Again, these are guys that where it's they should be used better, but it's I'd rather see them get have decent matches on here than get wasted on Raw. I don't know if you people saw, but there's a tag team turmoil match next week. To think I'm probably not gonna see a lot of tag teams on main event next week, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, nice simple match overall. First of many recaps, we have the recap of the Becky Bianca story, which, again, the Becky Lynch, if this is your call to be a heel, I don't know why, but okay. Obviously, you didn't learn from Steve Austin's mistake. And then they did a little bit of a mini recap of the 4-way elimination match that had Bianca become the number 1 contender, which did not look like it was good till it was down to Liv and Bianca. So I'll check that out whenever I can. The other recap on this show, we're now at Raw, the Raw portion of this program, where it was the recap of the Championship Open Challenge segment, which, again, it's the typical WWE segment. Champion jams out. 3 or 4 people come out. It's they will not change this format. But yeah, it was RK Bro versus Lashley and MVP in the highlights, which I gotta say, in these highlights, I don't know what's up with MVP, but I get he's not an active full-time competitor anymore, but he can go in that ring if he needs to and take care of business. But it's every time I see him in the ring, people, it's he gets slower and slower and slower. I don't know what it is. And this is sad to see. I mean, he did hit some nice boots in in the highlights that I saw. I mean, even Lashley in there, like he looked lost. Like there was like a couple of attempts like where Randy Orton was trying to hit some certain things off, but Lashley wasn't cooperating. I mean, this match looked like it was a good match, definitely for sure. I'm pretty sure, but it wasn't really like much was happening. So I'll definitely go back and rewatch the match in full. And then, yes, people were already here at the main event match for this show. It was Mustafa Ali teaming with his protege Mansoor taking on Lucha House Party, which, by the way, I gotta say, Ali and Mansoor, they definitely look like a tag team. I mean, beyond ethnicity, but like they look like a tag team, which I do appreciate. I mean, they don't have matching tights, but their colors schemes are so similar, and they got like matching cool jackets. So this could be something. And by the way, people, Lucha House Party got new music, so you could tell that they're. I really appreciate what Metalik and Lince Dorado are doing. It's like I think these guys know the position that they're in right now, but they're gonna go out there and they're gonna show them every single time they're on this show that you could just tell that these guys actually do care, and that's why I appreciate it. We don't shake hands is what Mustafa Ali was telling Mansoor, and I wrote down in my notes, people, why is Mustafa Ali a heel? Because really, it makes no sense for him to be a heel at this point. And again, it's one of these typical odd couple tag teams that Vince loves. Because that's the thing about Vince. He's always loved. There's two things about tag wrestling that he does like to do. He may not like to push a tag team to like a main event picture, but he'll always do the odd couple tag team or the tag team that features two main eventers. He's never really had faith in a full-fledged tag team from the very beginning, so I don't know why he does that. I guess he thinks it makes it more interesting. Mansoor said that's cool when Lindsay and Graham and Lee were bouncing themselves off the ropes to do their poses. Lindsay did a nice. There were a lot of Hurricane Runs in this match now that I'm reading. There definitely was one spot that got messed up, and I think it did because Lindsay Dorado was about to bounce off the ropes. Mustafa Ali was supposed to pull down, but I don't think he was further. So I think they redid the spot. I think just to overcompensate, Lindsay sort of like took a bump over the top rope, onto the floor, onto the announce table. So I think he's like, okay, I made up for it. There was a lot of heat in this match there was a lot. Mansoor was keeping Lindsay Dorado on the mat what it seemed like an eternity. Like, guys, no offense, but it's like I said this before. It's like the Mansoor, this match right here, Lucha House Party had with Mansoor and Ali was not. I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was fine, but it's like when I looked at these four compares of what I was gonna be watching, like I expected more. Instead, it's like we had too many heat spots for a match that isn't gonna go long. They're trying to do some development with Mustafa Ali, mentoring Mansoor, but I'm just looking like, dude. I mean, just team up. Like this is annoying. And let's say Dorado and Grimm and Alika are the ones working their asses off. And again, did I mention again that there was a lot of heat for a match that didn't go long? But there was a nice looking crossbody from Lindsay to Mustafa Ali for him to finally get the hot tag to Graham and Malik. And Graham and Malik, as always, the king of the ropes, doing his thing. And he had a great hot tag here. There was a nice spinning net breaker. There was some nice spinning springing DDTs from Mansoor and Ali for a close near fall. And then after a bit of miscommunication, after Lindsay Dorado hit a springboard stunner, heck of a lot better than Ceda's ever was, and Mustafa Ali got into the corner, Mansoor made the tag, and Mansoor made a nice springboard modified net breaker, and Mansoor and Ali got the win. I gotta say, people, I had high hopes for this match, even for the amount of time I knew they were gonna get. I didn't like this match as much. I thought it was fine, but just way too many heat spots, like I said, and just way too much bickering between Mansoor and Ali. And here's the thing, even when they won, Ali was still looking like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, you won the match. Like, get over it. So yeah, very disappointed in this one. And finally, the final recap of this show was the recap of the Bloodline celebration on SmackDown with Finn Balor confronting Roman Reigns. And it was pretty much the stuff like where The Bloodline beats down Finn Balor. Then the Street Profits come down and make the save. So at least that sets up Street Profits versus the Usos. And it led to a Universal Championship last night, actually, between Finn Balor and Reigns, which looks like the Demon's coming back. But yeah, that is it. And this episode was definitely, it was a tad step down from last week, because last week we had two very good matches, and these were two matches that were just, okay. But yeah, so that is it from my end, people. I hope you enjoyed this review. I am DJ Cass, and I will see you around later days.